Good morning, afternoon. Yes. All right. So let's go ahead and get going. I am recording this. I did post in the KW Danville YouTube channel a video on Referral Network. I am currently uploading the Moxie one as we speak. And more and more, I'll just be adding more things into here. So I really would like for these to be great quality. So I do ask if you guys could put your questions in the chat would be best if possible. I will be happy to answer questions at the end, but if you have questions during the process, if you can put it in the chat, that would be great. So all right, let's go ahead and get going. What we're going to discuss today is probably one of my favorite features within KW Command, and that is maintaining your sales pipeline, and it's called opportunities in KW Command. So you guys see my KW Command right here. And if I go over here to the left, it's the handshakes. So that is opportunities. And we're going to talk about what you guys will see and so forth. And my internet seems to be going extremely slow because I'm trying to upload a video to YouTube too. So I don't know if that's it or... Let's see, what's today? Today's Tuesday, right? Yeah. They could be doing some updates. All right, there it goes. It's going to go. All right. So in here, it's going to be broken into three categories, listings, buyers, and leads. Okay. And then the subcategories that's under each one, they're all the same. They are cultivate, appointment, active, under contract, and closed. Okay. So the way that you're going to use this is you need to put pretty much every lead you get into opportunities. Okay. One of the aspects with Command is tracking your goals. And the more that you use opportunities, it's going to give you accurate information with regards to tracking your goals. Okay. So, as you guys can see over here on the right, there is GCI, and there's the probability of the income with regards to what I have going on. You also see my ratios of listing versus buyer and leases, and also a timeline. Okay. Under that, you're going to see what I have right now in my opportunities is under listings. I have 9 active, 10 in contract. Obviously that's not true, but 0 closed. Under buyers, 13 active, 10 in under contract, and 1 closed. And I don't have any leases going on. Okay. So let's talk about how you guys are going to use this, and then we're going to go through and get more in depth with it. I'm even going to show you how to customize this to the way that you guys do business also. So let's go ahead and create an opportunity over here on the top right. And what's going to happen is it's going to obviously say your market center. You're going to want to fill out the opportunity type. So this is where you can say listing buyer or landlord or tenant. And I should have my client information in here. So to be honest with you, your workflow should be this. You should add them into your contacts and then add them into opportunities. Okay, so I am going to use Buster Posey today as an example because I know that he is in my, and I'm going to just relabel this listing investment property. So maybe he wants to, sell one of his properties that he has that's an investment property. Okay, so estimated closing date, I really don't have. I am going to fill this out and I'm going to pretend that we're approximately going to list it at 1.2, and the commission rate is going to be 3%. And I'm going to now put him into what's called either cultivate, appointment, or active, which corresponds into those first three subcategories. And then in here, I'm going to put him as nurture. Okay, so I'll show you where all this is, but let's go ahead and hit create. And then the next thing that happens is it always will take you right here. If you want to fill out more information, you absolutely can. Now, here's the thing that you really need to understand is that down the road, we are going to be migrating as a brokerage over to our file compliance into here. That is one of the reasons why the company partnered with DocuSign. DocuSign has a file compliance capability, file storage. So you're going to be able to have the capability to, once you get this person into contract, you can actually start a transaction and select out of a checklist which one he is. Okay, so this is where we even have checklist items now that Bob has put in here. So you can see that you can easily, down the road when we do it and we migrate over, you're going to be able to see where you can add a file right here and upload that document. So we're just not quite there yet, but this is a thing down the road. I really want you to understand. That's why opportunities is going to be so important. Okay. Okay. To go back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually push right up here. And now you're going to see under listing and cultivate this one I just created, right? So this is Buster Posey listing investment property. Now, what I'm going to do is I need to get him from cultivate nurture all the way over to closed. Okay. The functionality is very easy. It's actually simply just a drag and drop. So when I go right here, I can actually just drag and drop and move him over to hot. Okay. So let's pretend that now, okay, I need to now set an appointment with him. I'm going to go and take and drag him. Get up there. Come on. There we go. And now, if you look at it in my pipeline, I'm in the process of scheduling an appointment with him. Okay. So then once I've done that, I can say, okay, I've scheduled the appointment, and notice every time you're moving, opportunities has been updated and saved. Next is I kept the appointment with him. Okay. So now after that, it's going to turn into active. Okay. So this is where, where mine is going to look extremely different than yours with regards to customization and what you guys have. So the way that I have mine set up under active is listings and active, I should say, is I've got just listed a prepare for market, a live on MLS, showing, negotiating, and so forth. Okay. Legacy, that's just basically a placeholder. Okay, so I have now just listed the property with Buster Posey. Okay, I can go and say, all right, I need to prepare for market. Okay, great. One thing you're going to notice is that there's something right here because this is actually a checklist that I've created. So when I say prepare for market, I can go in here and I can say, oh, okay, these are the things that I need to do. Okay, I need to do a sign and post. I need to do a pre-inspection. I can even go right here and say, I want this done at this time. Okay, or I'm in the process of doing that. Okay, so basically it's going to create a task for you. So you have the capability to create checklists within every single one of these. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to talk about what we should do and I'm going to show you how to create these. Basically now it's move him along to live on MLS and so forth. See how easy it is, guys, to be able to keep track and just keep on moving forward. Then it's like, okay, now he's under contract, right? So essentially that's the way that the system works, is everything is completely drag and drop through the process. Okay. And when I go down just a little bit, I can actually go left and right with my mouse. So there's a little bar because there's more things right here. Okay. So let's talk about the stages, okay, and how to edit stages. So let's go back to right here. I am under listings. I am under active. So I can go right here to edit stages and I can customize this. Now, as you guys can see, mine is really edited to where this is the way that I would choose to do my business, okay? The cool thing is you're not locked into the default way. You have complete control to be able to do it with regards to adding stages and so forth. So to add a stage, it's as simple as going right here and saying add a stage, and I can name it. So I'm going to just say test for right now. And then you can see that I can actually create checklist items right there. Well, let's just say, for instance, that I get up and I create this and I walk away and then I realize, oh, I need to create checklist items within that stage. Great. I can even go right to, I believe it's right here, and I can say, okay, I'm going to just, this is just completely random what I'm doing just for showing you guys. I'm going to show you what I did. See, so now I've got 2 checklist items under test right here. I can take this and I can actually move it. So let's say, for instance, I want to put it right here. I can drag and drop. So I can move these things around. I can add checklists very easily to however I choose to do my business. Okay. Yes, it is, Diana. It's what Diana was saying is wow, this is a great setup and way to track where you are in escrow. Absolutely. That's really the main thing, because we always, we say we don't have a lead gen problem. We have a lead follow-up problem. This is what really fixes that problem. I'm going to go in and put all of my Facebook leads in there. I'm going to put open house leads in there. I'm going to put friends. I'm going to put whatever and create opportunities. And again, I want to get them from here to there. It's really that simple. Okay. Same thing with the buyers. Go from here to there. Okay. With that, let's kind of go through what the way that mine is set up. And this is always subject to change, because a lot of the times when I do this in class, we interact with it, and I sometimes change and go, yeah, that's a good idea. I might want to change mine like that. So for listings and then going to cultivate, what the default is watch, nurture, hot. As far as I'm concerned, that's completely fine. I would not change any of those stages. Under appointment, scheduling, scheduled, kept, I would say keep all those, no changes necessarily needed with regards to the default on that. Now, this is where I chose to be different, is we're now talking about the workflow of the process once you have the listing and then all the way to close. So this is what we're going to talk about now, is I just listed it. So I created a just listed. From there, I have a prepare for market. Okay. So again, I went in under active and I went to edit stages and I created a prepare for market. I even created a checklist in here. So in my mind, and I can uncheck these also, is okay, things that I would do to prepare for market. Well, in the market that we're in the area that we're in, pre-inspections are really huge, okay? Opening up a pre-escrow. Some people will do seller's warranty coverage. Some agents will do staging or a consultation of staging. Another thing is you want to start creating a flyer. You want to do photography. You want to do video. I'm even going to, I just thought of one is coming soon social post. Okay, so now this becomes a checklist item that I have decided to add in here. Okay, and that's going to be right here. And yes, I can take this and I can move it around. It's that simple, guys. It's absolutely that simple. So now I've added to the checklist, which is prepare for market. So things that you guys need to do, just keep on adding it in there. Okay. Now, once you go live on MLS, okay, I'm going to just take Bart Simpson right here and let's just see what shows up. There's 2 checklist items, do broker tour and an open house. That's kind of obvious. So broker tours, open houses, I would say probably, yeah, I would probably do that. I would probably leave your marketing and prepare for market. That's my opinion. Once it goes on MLS, then I have a tab that says showing. Again, totally up to you. So we're in the process of showing it, or we are getting showings on the listing side. Negotiating. Maybe we got an offer. We're in the process of negotiating. Okay, so now I can go here and look and see what I'm doing here. Now let's say that Bart Simpson is now under contract. So I have a listing in contract, okay? So what I've done is, whoops, and I'll answer your questions here in just a second. Under contract, or under contract in escrow. So now we're in escrow. Perfect. Okay, so again, we're looking at the listing side. All right. Maybe we are doing, we're waiting for inspections. Maybe the buyers are doing inspections. Okay, that's fine. So I have an inspection tab right here. Okay, we're waiting on appraisal. We're waiting on financing. Okay, and so forth. Now, another thing that you could do is create a stage here. Contingents, I can't even spell, C's removed. Okay, so I'm going to create a stage called contingencies removed. And now so basically I know what the buyer has removed, right? So this would be inspections. It would be disclosures. It would be prelim. And so basically you're taking the contingency removal form and you're adding it, all of those contingencies right here in the checklist. Okay, so right before clear to close, I know that we're in this stage, which basically says we're in the process of getting contingencies removed, and then go to clear to close. So I would have checklist items for that. And then under, let's go under, we're going to take Bo Jackson. We're going to pretend that he is closed. Okay. And where did it go? Did I not move him? Did it not take? Contingencies removed, clear to close. Huh, okay. Let's go and put Batman up there. And then let's go here and then let's see where they are. Okay, there's Bo Jackson. All right, so we're closed. Okay, so under this, I have a checklist basically telling me to remove the sign and post. Okay, now that's a no duh. Move to close marketing. Okay, this is a step that a lot of people forget is what are you doing for close marketing? Well, you need to do a just sold card. Maybe you do postcards to neighbors, and I have social media posts, okay? Because you obviously want to blast on social media that you just closed. The other thing is I need to make sure I get a review. That's important, right? I would say probably under get review, maybe add a checklist like, no, it's totally up to you. I won't even go there. But anyways, once Bo Jackson's done, I could just shove him in this legacy. Legacy is where everything's just going to get stored. It's basically a placeholder. Okay. So this is going to get really, really long. All right. Let me go through. Sorry, guys. I got an itchy nose here. When I did my first transaction, I moved through the steps of the transaction through this process, but just couldn't figure out how to move to the next step. Excuse me. Is it too late to go in and include my first transaction? I would absolutely put your first transaction going through opportunities, because again, if you are setting goals, you want to make sure that it's registering, hey, I've closed this, so now this is my GCI. So when you go into, dang it. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry. All right, sorry. So when I go in here, I want to make sure that under details, I've got a lot of this filled out. So things like what the home sold for, what the commission was, and so forth. So you can obviously go up here and edit all of these things. And yes, we'll talk about Porch down the road. Porch is basically it's a company that we've allowed to plug into our infrastructure. Porch is basically, if you upload inspection reports, Porch reads it and will tell you how much that repairs would cost, and would even give you the capability to find somebody for those repairs. So that's how that system works. We'll go more in depth once we get way closer to using this as file compliance, but that's going to be really cool to be able to have that in there. Okay. Another person says, when I create a listing checklist, do I have to make it for every listing separately, or automatically becomes checklist for every listing by default? That's a great question. When you create the checklist, it's going to be for every transaction, every person you put in here, every stage that you decide to put the checklists. So when you guys were looking at it and you notice when I would take one and drag it to the other one, you saw that it was adding people into the, or adding checklist items. That's, once you set all that up, it's going to do that for every little single thing that you decide to do. Okay. So that is that. Another person says, however, I did all of my DocuSign through commands. Yeah, that is true. Just hold off with regards to the file compliance. We're way down the road. We're going to get there, and then we're going to have extensive training with regards to that. So don't worry about that. If I want to make notes under this transaction, I absolutely can, and so forth. So there's a lot of great things that you guys can do going through the process. So now you see that, oh, come on, that I've got 2 closings in here, right? So again, you want to make sure you use this, because this is going to be your tracking tool. with everything. So now let's go through the buyer side. Okay. Let's see. So I changed this up a little bit. My thinking is I wanted to be able to see where I got these people. So when I would start when I would start a opportunity, people that I met at an open house, I would put them in as opportunity, and I would put them directly under open house because I want to make sure that I followed up. So I did for Cultivate open house, door knocking, sign call, SOI, which is sphere of influence, social media. So this would be like a Facebook lead or a Twitter lead or something along those lines. A social event. Okay. So that's a, maybe I held a fundraising thing. Okay. So I can put someone there. Okay. So this is basically where you're going to put your guys' leads is right here. And then once you do, you're going to eventually try and get them up to here. You can always work backwards. So like, let's say for instance, that maybe you met with somebody in an appointment phase and you decided, oh, they're not even close. You can put them right back into Cultivate down the road. Okay. So absolutely. Appointments, scheduling, scheduled, kept. I would say leave these default. These are completely fine with regards to buyer appointments. All right. Now, once they become more of an active buyer, the very first thing that I have is a buyer broker agreement. I need to make sure that I get them loyal to me. And if you guys have not taken Kristen White's buyer broker agreement class, highly recommend doing that. Okay. The next step would be we're in the process of getting pre-approved. So this would be like Keller Mortgage. Okay. So I would, Iron Man and Tanya Patrick and so forth, Leslie, Santangelo, Mari Kemp, they're all getting pre-approved in my process here in my pipeline. Once they've been pre-approved, then I move them to searching. Okay, because I do not want to put someone here if they have not gone here. Searching, this is where we're in the process of looking for properties. Then it would be showing, and then it would be writing an offer, and then it would be maybe negotiation. So that's my thinking of how I choose to set mine up. Okay, let's go into under contract. And let's talk about what I have here. So I have a stage for ratified with confirmation. I think that's a piece that always tends to get missed most of the time when we're doing paperwork. So I always want to make sure that when I get them under contract, I'm looking for this. After that, then we open up escrow. Then we put the deposit in escrow. Okay. Under doing actual inspections. So this would be like maybe pool, home, termite, roof, stuff like that is what I'm looking for in a checklist with we are in the process of doing inspections, okay? The next thing is to again, to remove contingencies. So if we've done all the inspections and we need to remove them, I have checklist items here. And guess what? Prelim, HOA, inspections, loan, appraisal. Okay. I can even set due dates in here. So if I really, like, let's say for instance that I don't TC my own files, I can always put what those dates are right here of when those are due. So I would take the to remove contingencies and just copy everything off of the contingency removal form. VP is verification of property and final walkthrough. So in a normal market, when we're not quarantined, this would be pretty standard. Okay. So I would make sure that I'm doing that and getting that signed off. By the way, another thing that I would do under doing inspections, I'm going to just add a couple Okay. When you're here, do this, do Avid. Okay. I think that's the perfect time for you guys to be doing your Avid. I've heard a lot of people that wait until the last minute and then that just is another trip. Well, if you're already out there, well, in a normal market, when you're not in quarantine, when we're in a normal market and we're out there with the inspectors, that is the perfect time to be able to do your Avid. And to be honest with you, there's an app of zip forms. So you could actually be filling it all out instead of having to take notes and then retype it. I'm all about streamlining things. That's what I would do, but I would definitely put this do Avid right here under doing actual inspections. Okay. VP and final walkthrough and clear to close. Okay. So I'm going to just take Iron Man. We're going to say that he is, get up there, Iron Man. All right. So now it goes through the same thing. I'm closed marketing, and so forth. So closed marketing, this is where I would do postcard and do social media. Get review. Again, this is going to be kind of the same thing. Oh, here we go. This is cool. Ask for a referral. You guys should make a stage just on this. If you guys, this is something that, boy, we really forget. We get paid and then we just kind of like, oh, off to the next. When really this is what we need to be doing, asking for the referral. And then again, once I'm done with Iron Man, I would put him all the way over here. Okay, we got a question. Can you write or tell us again more slowly the class you just mentioned that you highly recommend? I honestly don't remember what I just said.
It was the class for
Beverly Steiner.
No, it's Kristen White's buyer broker.
Yep, the buyer broker agreement. Thank you guys. Yes, the buyer broker agreement. For you guys that are brand new, this is a form that basically would help keep your people loyal to you. Okay, that's what it basically is. And Kristen is awesome at explaining it and showing you guys how to use it. Okay, so going back to here, honestly, guys, that's really the functionality around this. This is really not too difficult. Again, what you can do is, let's just say, for instance, that you want to edit your phases with regards to active. I would first go right here and I would go edit stages. Here's all of my stages under buyers active. And then again, I can add checklist things in all of these. Again, this is just my example because, to be honest with you, it would be like the way that I think would be different, like Shika, who's on this call. Okay, she might do things a little bit different. What's cool about this is I'm not locked into this is the way that I have to do it, because the way she thinks versus the way I think is completely different. I can do it however I want to, right? So that's what's really cool about the way that KW has set all of this up. Okay. Let's go ahead and open it up to questions. So go ahead and unmute yourself if you happen to have a question. No questions?
Jeffrey, I have a question.
Yes, Shika.
So my question is, at this time, I should put people in pipeline. Mostly we'll use it for a nurture stage and creating our checklist. And if I make a checklist for my one listing, does it become a default for every listing, or I have to create that checklist for every listing I create?
No, when you create a checklist item under a stage, that checklist is that checklist for every time someone hits that stage. So when you go in and you look at, like if I put Christy Moore here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notice that right now I have 8 items. See what happened was with Steph Curry with here, when I did this, this was October 1st. That means I've added extra items in here. The 8 will show up when I take Christy and I drag her right here. Now what's going to happen is now this is going to show 8, 0 of 8 when this loads up.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we can create our stage checklist for stages at this point.
Absolutely. And this is, you know, the main thing is I want you guys to start using this. The way that I look at this is, hopefully I'm so busy that I have got leads over here. I've got people that I'm talking with over here. I've got deals over here. I've got this over here. It can be very overwhelming, okay? A lot of agents that are brand new in the business, they will pretty much just stick with the one and they won't do anything else. They won't prospect. They won't go out and try and find new business because they want to make sure that that one thing is going. Well, this helps you be able to know where I'm at with that one so I can go back out and get more business. Because what happens is if I don't go and prospect while I'm going through escrow, then I'm another 90 days out on another deal. Okay. And then it's just going to take more time. Once I close this, now I've got to find somebody else. I don't want to stop not doing Facebook ads or running or doing open houses or something like that. And also there's always a chance, God forbid, that deal that you're working with, if you're concentrated on just that could easily probably fall out. Maybe something happens. Maybe they lose a job. You spent all of that time focusing on the one when you probably can't think of, like you need to multitask. This is what helps keep everything in line. Your workflow is when you guys get to the office or when you guys get up and you're checking email and so forth, you're going right here and you're going, okay, what do I need to do today? Okay, I need to make an appointment with this. Ooh, I need to follow up with this person. All right, I'm in the process. I just need to double check and make sure that we're on time for getting the appraisal and so forth. That's what this does. It's like a calendar on steroids with all of your business. And the thing is, guys, is that what we have here, you would have to pay extra third party on bolt-on technology in order to have something relatively like this. And it's not customizable to you. You're forced into their thinking. So that's why you guys get in here, you use this, you put everybody in here, and now your ratios and all of your goals start coming a lot clearer. Because if I go to my reports right here, I told myself that I need to make a certain amount of money. And when I go in here and I go up to goals, this is where I'm at. So this is my yearly goal. Okay. And then I could change this to month. Okay. I'm only at 5% of my leads. Right? So this is being pulled straight from opportunities. That's why it's extremely important to make sure that you are using opportunities. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that was my goal from this class, Jeffrey. I am using an Excel sheet for my prospects.
Yep.
So my thing is to add my buyers who are in my pipeline. But is there a way we can do month-wise? Because I know my one buyer won't be ready till August or till October. Is there a way because when I talk to them, I make notes on Excel that I talk to them, to this person on this date. And he said that he will start looking in the month of October, for instance.
Okay.
So can I put something in there?
Yeah. So maybe under, because he's not an active, maybe under buyer appointment, you can create a stage and say, in process waiting. So maybe you have a stage for that. So once I've gone through, let me just pull like Iron Man, and I put him up here in appointment. And this is a good, Shika, that's a really good point. I like that. Is okay. So you'll notice that, you know, maybe I'm in, okay, I've scheduled the appointment. Okay, great. I've kept the appointment. Now I can have things all right here. So maybe Iron Man, I'm just waiting on him. And I can go in here and make notes and say, we're looking in August. We're doing this.
Where exactly? I'm sorry, where can we make notes?
So if I go into, so like, let's say for instance, I'm in process waiting. So that you just saw that I created that. If I click on the Iron Man card, I can go in here and I can write a note.
Oh.
Right. And I can say, okay, in process, waiting until October. Okay. So now I have a note under that. So whenever I go to Iron Man and I open up Iron Man, because Iron Man's right here, I could go right here and you'll see that right here is a note. So now I can go in and say, oh, okay, let me just take a look. Oh, okay, we're waiting until, you know, October on that. That makes sense. Okay, fine. Right? That's a way that you guys can handle that.
That makes sense. Actually, I want to get used to doing this. I've been using Excel for some time. I want to make this and see how it works.
Absolutely. And this is really going to help you to get out of the Excel spreadsheets and to really keep track of your people and where you're at with everybody in your database, because your database is your guys' business, right? So that's a really good way to have it in process waiting column.
But at this point, we are only using this for prospecting, not other than that, because we're not doing documents and like we are not using from start to close. We're just most likely right now using to keep our prospects in one place and keep a tab.
Right. But you will, we're getting a little bit close. I would say probably end of the year, we're going to reevaluate and say, okay, you know, are we ready? And, you know, is everything really going to work to our TCs, and making sure we're testing this. We're making sure we're not going to roll this out to you guys until we feel comfortable that you guys can get a handle on this. But I would still go, like, let's say for instance, Shika, there's nothing stopping you from going in and saying, okay, I want to create a checklist item and start playing with it. Okay. The cool thing about it is Shika's in Danville, and once Iron Man gets on the contract and I'm under his card still, check this out. All I have to do is just push this, and Christy and Bob gets a notification that you've created a new transaction. Staff can now see it. Okay.
Oh,
and then once we get closer, you're going to be able to submit a request for a demand once you're in, once we get a little bit farther into the transaction. So the whole point is right now we're using SkySlope, and SkySlope is third party, and SkySlope is owned by somebody that owns some of our competitors. Okay, remember Gary's all about data. So we want to put everything in one spot to where you're not going here and then going here and then going here. Everything is right here, right?
So Jeffrey, I have a question, the very basic question. The first thing is, at this point, what do you reckon? We have to go to our every contact and put them in a category, in an opportunity manually? So or can we do a tag or something easier?
So what I would do is I would take the most current, I would say don't put your entire database in right now. I would say, like Shika, if you're running a Facebook ad right now, if you get that lead, then you throw it in here. Okay. If you have a friend that now all of a sudden says, hey, Shika, I want to look at listing my home. Now create an opportunity.
Okay, the
Okay.
one which are active or getting active,
Yeah. Or you know, I just
starting
want
to
you,
look.
right. I want to start the process. I mean, I don't want you to throw like 600 people in my database, have 600 cards in here. That's not realistic. But, you know, going in and taking leads that are coming in from this point on, I would say, oh, hell yeah, start going through the process and going through this. You're going to find it's really simple. Go in, start creating your stages, editing your stages. You can always tweak them because you might say, oh, you know, maybe I want to, you know, for my tracking capability, I want to be able to see this. You can always go in and change things. You're not going to break the system with that. But
Yeah,
every
it's
Jeffrey,
pretty easy. Yeah, I
it's
just created
so
my
easy.
lease right now. I have an active lease, so I just put it in there. It's
Yeah,
pretty easy actually. I haven't done the edit stage. I will do as I use it, I would say, but it's
absolutely.
pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the whole the really cool thing about it is because this was developed by realtors, and realtors, you know, our agents saying, hey, we want this and we want it to look like that. Everything, you guys are not super techy. Let's be honest. A lot of realtors are not. Simplicity is best. That's why when you see this, it's like, oh my gosh, that's all I have to do is create an opportunity and then just take him and just drag him, drag her along. That's it. That's the whole logic behind it for your tracking.
Jeffrey, can you walk me through how to um, edit my transaction so that it shows like while you are talking and I'm watching yours, I'm trying to, in my contact, my buyer, I'm trying to figure out how to get to that screen where you go back and you plug in the information for like how much the home was, the commission and all of that.
Okay, so let's do that. First thing is you put your contact in, right? Into command. The
So she's
next
in
thing,
there and I've pulled up her contact. I've already gone into contact and clicked on it. And so I'm looking at their details page.
okay, so let's talk about this. So what you're looking at is, let's say, for
But it's
instance,
not in opportunities.
okay, so what you need to do is you need to create an opportunity. So
But
now, so what you're going to do is then you are going to go to opportunities because you were in contacts. Now you go to opportunities and put that person in your sales pipeline. So you click the little hands and then you would go right here to create an opportunity. And this is where you start filling out all of this information and then it becomes an opportunity. Does that make sense?
and so even though this closed in February, it's so I can still go in and update it so it shows.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because if you've done your goals through command and you want that to show, oh yeah, put it into opportunities. You want it enclosed, you want it to show, to put it in your tracking. Absolutely, I would.
So how can we do goals in our command? Is a different class?
Yeah, it's honest to God, it's really simple. I mean, all you would do would go right here to reports and I think it's goals right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like right here is my goal settings. So this is where then it takes you through a Kelly guide and says, hey, start setting your goals. It's going to pull things like what's your expenses and so forth. It can get detailed, but
Okay.
that's where you're going to want to set your goals. So now once I've done that, then it's going to come out and say, based off of the how much I want to make in profit. So you see that I have $100,000 in profit, right? I need to get, and it also says what's your average sales point, and I said probably like 720 or something right around there. It's then going to spit you out saying, okay, for this year, you need to get 720 leads. You need to get 72 contacts. You need to set 44 appointments. You need to keep 26. You need to get have 16 agreements. 10 contract and 6 closed.
It's pretty cool.
That's what I need to do in order to hit my goals for what I want to do, which is right here.
And
then
nobody can see it, right?
I'm sorry?
Nobody else can see your goals?
Nope,
Or
just you. But I can then go right here and say, okay, well, this is great for the year. What is it for the month? Well, I need 77 leads. I need, I guess I ended up reaching this. 5 appointments, 3 kept, 2 agreements, 1 in contract, right? So, and it looks like I probably already closed 1. So then this has already been satisfied. So now I can go in and see, am I reaching my goals? This is great accountability for you guys to be able to see what you want to accomplish.
thank you, Jeffrey.
Absolutely. Any other questions, guys? Go ahead and unmute yourself. There's no more questions. Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love this this piece in Command. It's very, you can edit it however you choose to whatever how you want to have your business track for you. And if you guys just start to get religious about getting in here and start putting things in here, you're going to start seeing through opportunities these numbers change, and then you're going to get a little bit more excited with regards to your goals. Hey, I'm getting a little bit closer to my goals. Awesome. Maybe I need to get more contacts. I need to get more leads. So if I need to get more leads, what am I going to do? Do I need to do a Facebook ad? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? So this is going to help you move forward in your business. So
I do have a question.
Yes.
Will there be calculators in Command?
This, in what way are you talking?
Like rent calculators? I don't know. I'm learning a bunch of stuff, but I was like, I wonder if Command does that.
Well,
Like when you're valuing a property or trying to figure out if it's an investor, what the rate of what is the return on investment will be, and those type of things, how much repairs will cost, that type of stuff.
Repair costs and so forth, that would be through Porch. So what I would love for you guys to play with is if you get a contact into opportunities and you go and go into here, I would love for you to upload a termite report. Okay. And excuse me, and hit the Porch option and play with that and see what that spits out. I mean, I think that that's going to be really an amazing piece to help get you with regards to repairs and so forth. I would try that. And if you find that, hey, I would really like to add another piece to it and it's not there, then I'm going to tell you to go to ideas.kw.com and make a suggestion. Hey, I would like to see this in opportunities. I would like to have that calculator that you're talking about. So this is where you can go in and post an idea. And KW actually can go in and see it. And you can actually get people to vote on it. Okay, so one thing, that number of contacts selected. So this got brought up and now they are reviewing that. Okay, so you can actually see what KW is deciding to do with regards to this. So we can obviously submit our ideas, and Command's going to always evolve. It's never going to stay stagnant. So I would, if you feel like that's an important piece in opportunities, put the idea in. Once that's posted, say, maybe copy the link to that post on that website, throw it in our Danville group and say, hey, guys, I think this is kind of cool. Everybody go out there and vote for that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Last, any other questions before we go? By the way, this is being recorded. I do intend to post this on our KW Danville YouTube channel. Like I said, I'm literally in the process, and I'll be curious to see if something got finished uploading. But you can easily go to KW Danville in YouTube, and it's right here. And this was the latest one. This was yesterday. So the other one hasn't finished uploading. It's still uploading. But I put, what was the class I just did the other day?
Listing
Oh,
presentation.
Moxie. Yes, yes. Moxie is uploading right now. It's a huge file, and it takes time for YouTube to convert it and do their thing, but it will eventually be in here. But this is where I'm housing things with regards to team meetings and so forth. All right. So I would say keep coming back here and checking this out. All right.
Jeffrey, do you know where I would find the episode for Think Like a CEO?
I don't know who held that class.
It was on the Pivot Shift call this morning. They mentioned it. Gary Keller has, I guess it's a series. And so I wanted to watch it, and I was trying to find it. Everything I'm finding is like less than 30 seconds. And I'm like, this could not possibly be what they're raving about.
No. So where I would go putt around and look is kwconnect.com. And log in there, because with things with regards to, you got it, Jeremy, no problem, man. Things that are, you know, uploaded from international, everything tends to go there. It looks like someone is saying that it's a podcast, so you might have to go into iTunes podcasts and try and find it there. There might be a link in KW Connect, but look into KW Connect first. And I bet you something is going to be in there.
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. You got it. All right,
Have a
guys.
great Tuesday, Jeffrey.
All right. You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Hopefully you really see the benefit of how this is going to work in your business, and start using it. All right, guys. Have a good one, and we will see you on the next stream. All right. Talk to you later.